Hello everybody, welcome to Shady Entertaining's Reviews, and today I'm going to review The Last Jedi. This movie has stirred up a little bit of controversy. A little bit, people seem to not be exactly on the same page. You know, the critics and the audience scores on Rotten Tomatoes seem not to be on the same, path, you know what I mean? So what do I think of it? Well, that's the sort of blinkered Philistine pig ignorance I've come to expect from you non-creative garbage. I think Crocodile Dundee summed it up best when he said, "You can eat it, what a tastes like shit." Because that's kind of how I felt while watching this movie. I felt like, I mean, it had a lot of razzle-dazzle. I mean, the effects were okay. Acting was fine. But there was this is like a taste. Like, I finished watching it and all I could taste was shit. Like, mouse ass. I don't know. So yeah, it was bad. It was just, it's not even, I don't even have words. I mean, there's just, I keep hearing it subverts expectations. I liked this movie because it subverted my expectations. I was thinking it was going to go in this direction, they led me into this direction, and then bam, we went in this direction. It was like, oh wow, you didn't see that coming, and I'm like, okay. Just because it turns in a direction you didn't expect doesn't make it good. I liken it to a joke. You know, there's a joke, there's the setup, and then there's the payoff, right? I mean, you set the joke to go in a certain direction, like, knock, knock, who's there? Banana. Oh, I know this joke. Knock, knock, who's there? Banana. Banana who? We all know this joke, right? We all know that this joke goes to, knock, knock, who's there? Orange. Aren't you glad I didn't say banana? But instead, they went, knock, knock, who's there? Tambourine motorcycle. Okay? Isn't that great? We changed and subverted your expectations. You thought the joke was going to make sense, and the joke didn't. I don't know why I'm doing Bill Cosby right. And the joke didn't make any sense with the plot, so you'll see. I don't know, random impressions. It's making me crazy. I'm just going nuts. Oh, man. You know, you watch this movie, and for some reason, I've heard so many people talk about it, that when they left the theater, it's like, I don't know why, even people who aren't even hardcore Star Wars fans are like, I don't know why this means so much to me. I don't know why this bothers me so much. And I'm the same way. I left this theater going, why do I have this urge to see every single review? Because it's like we have this need to make sure that we're not crazy, I suppose. Like that. I think the reviews help that along when you have half, like 90% or whatever the reviews are now, who are like, of the critics are like liking it, and then the other score that, you know, the audience score is like in the 50s or something, and everyone's like, am I crazy? I mean, am I not seeing the same movie that these people, did I go to the wrong theater to see? Because what did I see? Did I see something else? Because it said The Last Jedi in the theater when I walked in, and it seemed like the sounded very similar. What I was watching, it did not. I mean, and we're going to get into that. Okay. I cannot talk about this movie without first talking about The Force Awakens. Because The Force Awakens, it was somewhat polarizing in how we felt. But I think most people genuinely forgave what was there because yes, it copied a lot of stuff. But we kind of like, alright, but maybe it was just to get the new kids who hadn't really been introduced to Star Wars, introduce them into it and kind of ease their way as a soft reboot. A lot of people called it a soft reboot, and we were all okay with that because we kind of understood that maybe maybe the old trilogy before the prequels, but the old trilogy might be outdated in some ways, and this crowd, wants something new. So we gave them a little bit something new. We kind of forgave them for that, and then there was a few plot holes. I mean, Rey was everyone the big. She's a Mary Sue, which yes, she's overpowered. Yes, she like there was no explanation for that. But then when you go back to Anakin and you think, well, Anakin's overpowered. Anakin knew how to build robots. I mean, he built bloody C-3PO, for heaven's sakes. I mean, he's this little boy who's building I'm building a droid. You want to see my droid? You know, like, well, he didn't speak with a British accent. I don't know how he adopted the British accent afterwards, but he talked more like a normal boy, and then suddenly I'm Mr. Bloody British Man. I don't know how that happened, but it happened. So you have him, who's this little, tiny little boy, and I mean, he knew how to fix everything. I mean, he was fixing pod racers. He was racing pod racers. The only human that had the instincts to race a pod racer. I mean, we explained that from the Force. You know, he was using the Force for that. So we knew he was strong with the midichlorians are strong in this one. And I'm one of those that didn't mind the prequels too much. It was okay. I mean, yes. I mean, I hate sand. Fall in love with me. I hate sand. I love you, Anakin. Please tell me more about your sand. I can't stand sand and I want to kill everyone. Oh my God, I love you. Please tell me more. It was the worst romance since Twilight. Anyway. 50 Shades of Anakin. Yeah. The fuck was I talking about? Yeah, no, okay, so, yeah. So Anakin was an overpowered character, too. And, we explained it because the midichlorians in this boy are very crazy, and, you know, and he was the Christ child born of the Force. The Force just birthed him to breathe balance. Which I didn't understand even now. And I mean, how the hell did the Jedi not see that he was going to turn evil? I mean, well, they did. Some of them saw, but it was just like, Jedi have all the people, and the Sith have one. He's going to bring balance to the Force. Can you not count? The scales are tipped in your favor, dumbasses. Obviously, this guy's going to turn to the dark side, you dummy. Again, I'm doing Bill Cosby. I don't know what that's all about. Someone needs to cleanse the Cosby out of me. So, I think I'm just going to do Cosby for the rest of this interview. I mean, for the rest of this review. Spoilers! Hello there! Now I'm Ace Ventura, pet detective. I don't know. I think I haven't slept enough. That's probably what it is. Too much of this shit in my head. I apologize now because I get crazy when I don't sleep. And I... What did you do to my childhood, Disney? Yeah, that's pretty much what it is with me. So, back on topic. Yeah, so Rey, I always thought she was overpowered, but no, not really any more than Anakin really was. The only difference between Rey and Anakin, and I'll tell you this is the main difference. I mean, you can be overpowered, and that's one thing, that's fine, but you need to have a character flaw. I mean, Anakin had tons of character flaws. He was... You know, he was battling the dark side, and you could see it within him. His character was, I mean, as a boy, there wasn't that much, because he's still a boy, but when he got older, you started to see him change. You started to see his inner anger and how he wasn't being treated fairly. He thought he wasn't, they were holding him back, and these real emotions that kind of, you started to see that he had to battle through, and in the end, he lost. He lost to these emotions, and her, there's just nothing. It's just like, once in a while, she mentions her parents. I want to know where my mummy and daddy are. Where's my mummy and daddy? Please, somebody. Can anyone know where my mummy and daddy is? They just dropped me here when I was a kid, and I was like... First of all, she was 5 or something. She looked like she's 6. I would have remembered what my parents looked like. I mean, they don't even explain like that she had something tragically happened. Okay, this is back to what I'm talking about, like with this whole Mary Sue thing. I mean, they didn't give us enough, and that's why fan theories went crazy, because they didn't give us anything about her. They didn't tell, and because of that, we had to fill in the gaps. We're like, okay, well, she's overpowered. She doesn't know, and even from her little Force when she got the lightsaber, and then she had this vision. She saw herself as a child, but she was 6 years old. She didn't look like she was really that young. She looked like she was young enough to at least remember who her parents were. And what happened, and so we all assumed, well, she has to have had somebody wipe her mind. Well, I mean, that's a logical conclusion. So that's why we were like, well, if she doesn't know her parents, then somebody with strong enough force powers could wipe her mind. Who could this be? You know, who was looking out for her? Somebody purposefully dropped her off. Someone purposefully cleaned her mind. Someone purposefully, you know, and she's strong with the force, and because she's strong with the force, she knew a little bit how to fight. That's why we were forced to fill in the gaps, because there was too many like little pieces that we, you know, hints of things that we needed to figure this out. And then, you know, the lightsaber then was handed, and you know, then she had all these visions for some reason. No one, like, I'm pretty sure Maz Kanata touched that lightsaber. Did she have those visions? Well, we don't know because they didn't show us, but I don't remember, you know, everyone who touches it have a vision? I mean, there's just her. And her visions were specific. They were about Luke Skywalker. They were about, you know, Obi-Wan. They were about, and that's why everyone was like, ooh, you know, what's going on? So these things were teased, all right? It wasn't our imagination. We didn't just make shit up. It was teased, which is then why when we went to this movie, we were expecting to have some resolution to that. And we all had a theory. We all had what we liked, of course. We all had our expectations. And then Rian Johnson says, we know you have expectations. But I'm going to subvert every single one of them. Because I am clever. And so, you know, we all had our expectations subverted on Rey, where we were like, okay, let's hear it. What is the explanation for Mighty Rey? And it turns out that she is, spoiler alert, she is, she's a nobody. She's a couple of drunks who said, here, I need to go and get looted up. I don't know, I don't have nothing else, take my child, because the problem people have with Rey isn't that she's overpowered. I mean, that's one problem, but it's only a problem if you don't explain why she's overpowered. You know, her family were a bunch of, you know, junkies who just dropped her off for some crack cocaine money. And you know, that doesn't exclude her from having powers. In fact, the fact that she had to fend for herself explains why she was, you know, she was strong, she was strong-willed, explains, maybe she had to learn how to fight to fend off, a lot of like unsavory types in Jakku. But so I didn't really mind so much her being strong. I didn't mind so much her having to figure things out. Maybe she's intelligent. It's just that they didn't explain enough. The problem is not that a person is overpowered. The problem is that you have to still have a character flaw. There is no character flaw in Rey. Rey is just perfect. That makes her boring. That makes me not want to root for her. You root for the underdog 90% of the time. And she has a perfect underdog story. She's left alone as a planet, as a child, to fend for herself. She doesn't know who her parents are. So therefore she has a reason for why she challenges herself to be a better fighter, and she learned how to do this stuff and to fend for herself and to cook and to build things. Okay, and she has maybe an innate skill. The thing is that she has no character issues. Anakin was a dick. Anakin's flaw led to his downfall. Her character arc still hasn't even appeared. I mean, the second movie, and we're still going, what the hell is her? I mean, the only character flaws that I see are the character flaws that they wrote in that are just holes in her character, in her personality, but they're not actually considered flaws in the movie. I mean, I'll give you an example of that. She finds Luke, hands Luke the lightsaber. He tells her to, okay, I don't even talk about Luke right now. That's a whole nother fish to fry, so I'm just gonna really fast forward the Luke situation. Because I cannot. Serenity now, serenity now. We're gonna skip ahead to Kylo Ren mind melding with her through the Force of Snoke. They mind melded, and this was like, I don't even know how long. What, a day after he just killed his father, and they just suddenly, hey, what are you doing? I'm a cold. What are you doing? Get out of me, Ed. You know, it's just this encounter that they had. It was like not natural. It was like, that's a flaw for me. I mean, what kind of a human being is this Rey, right? I mean, she seems to have, her character flaw that I could see is that she has no character. Her character flaw is that she just doesn't seem to like care about anything. She just barely cares about her parents. I mean, she sort of does, but she doesn't really talk about it that much. And when she does, it's sort of like, I don't know who my parents are. And she, I don't feel the need for her to want to find her parents. I really don't. It just doesn't translate. She likes Finn, but you don't get the sense that she's in love with Finn. I mean, she you don't get the sense that she has really any emotion really at all. She's almost robotic. It's almost like, she just goes along with it. Like, oh my God, you killed, her mentor Han Solo, who you think, they had at least sort of a little bond or a connection. And when he dies, yeah, she was sad. But then you see in this one where the guy who murders him, is like, hey, what's going on? And she's like, I don't want to talk to you. You're mean. You're a meanie, and I don't like you very much. I mean, that's not the natural reaction of somebody who's angry. Of somebody like Luke when he encounters Vader. He was like, no. He was all like angry, all this like rage inside of him. Like, you killed him. No, you killed my father. Like he was like angry. You could tell in his face. No, Luke, I am your father. And he was like, no! Like his face all like blew up and shit. Like it was just weird. It was a weird sort of like expression he made. He was like, no! Like he looked like a Muppet for a moment. But I digress. Anyway, but in this one, she's like, you're mean. You're a meanie and I don't like you. Don't talk to me anymore. I'm moving over here now. And she's like, oh, but did Luke Skywalker tell you what he did? And she's like, no, I don't want to know either. So, almost like a disgruntled girlfriend who just was like playing like, I don't know, I don't care, no, I don't care, no, nothing's wrong, I'm fine, I don't know what you're talking about, I'm okay. And it just didn't seem like someone who had real passion or anger towards this other individual. And the same goes for Kylo, to be honest with you. Kylo was just scarred. Kylo was belittled, berated, for losing to Rey. And you'd think that the type of character that they built him up to be, which was this very egomaniacal, trying to live up to something and always falling short, you'd think that he would have an animosity toward Rey because she defeated him. So you kind of get that sense that there's like no real passion there. And there's no real emotion, no real feeling. And that goes for both characters. I mean, Kylo Ren should have been angry, should have been enraged, should have been like, I'll get you, Rey, you scarred me in my pretty face, huh? Why, and you made me look bad in front of Daddy. Daddy Snoke, you made me look bad. And look, Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader staring at me in the Force Ghost, and you made me look bad, and I don't like you. There was none of that. It was just like everything was forgotten. Like, this is like, the timing didn't add up. It was like, this could have been done fine. I didn't mind their little relationship attempt. I didn't mind this. This should have been done in the next film, because they should have at least led up to this arc. Because this is kind of like, do you people even have emotions, like real feelings, like real people? I mean, there's like no real emotion here. I don't sense it. Nobody has any real emotion. I mean, Luke Skywalker, okay, I'm going to get into Luke Skywalker now because, okay, I'm done with her. Basically, the thing with Rey is, she has no story, there's no character issue because she has no character. That's why we don't like her. They didn't build a character, she's too flawed, she has no passion, she doesn't have any desire, no motivation. Luke, at least, I want to join the rebellion, and I want to be a Jedi like my father, And even that, he was like, I want to do that only because they killed my uncle. And then, because otherwise he had honor. He was going to stay, and even despite, I want you to join the rebellion and become a Jedi like your father. He's like, oh, I can't, I have responsibilities. Then they killed him, all right, and there goes, and even Luke, his passion, he had to stare off into this closet. At least there was that moment, right? This was just like, almost like everything is rushed. Beat, 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 beat. Next thing, next scene, next scene, next scene. There's no moment to like just absorb, take in, breathe, figure out what's going on in the next, and really get to understand what motivates this character. Rey just follows along. Next beat. Here comes Finn. Wait a minute. This little droid says you took somebody's robot. Beat her down. Like, okay. it was just so stupid. Everything was just so like, the pace is so chaotic. It's just, there's no feeling in this person. There's no, they don't feel like real people. They just feel like cardboard cutouts just doing things. And Rey, who's the main character, the reason why she's a big problem is because she's supposed to be the one we're following. She's the one we followed Anakin, we followed Rey, we followed Luke, and we're supposed to follow Rey, but we can't. Because you're not giving me any passion, you're not giving me any emotion. I don't feel a damn thing from Rey, because I don't feel like she actually has feelings. And then towards the end, she just says, oh, I need to save Kylo Ren, because Kylo Ren, I sense the good in him. And then it's like, why? Why do you sense good in this dude? He just killed, you know, one of your, like a father figure of yours. And he doesn't care. He's like, has no remorse. Why do you hate your parents so much? And he didn't explain that. Why do you hate your... Because they're meanies and I don't like them. They didn't like me. They gave up on me. They did? I don't remember that. I don't remember anything about that. They didn't explain that enough, so I can't believe that. All right, sure. You're telling me Han Solo and Princess Leia, who you know these characters. I would believe that if they were characters you didn't know. If they were just some parents from, you know, some other place and we didn't know who his parents were. And he says, well, they were meanies and they didn't love me. Knowing who his parents were, it's hard to believe that they could possibly be that evil or be that mean towards their own child. I mean, for me to believe that, I would have to believe that Princess Leia is a horrible mother. Am I supposed to believe that Princess Leia is a horrible mother? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Huh? Princess Leia is a bad mother? Huh? Huh? Yeah, feminismers. Explain that one, eh? Huh? Yeah. What the fuck was I talking about? See, this movie gets me crazy. I need a little cup of joe. Anyway, so I'm like, that's why Rey doesn't work. And going forward with these two, her story arc, there's none. She has an opportunity to have a story arc in this movie where there's that part in the movie where she goes to meet Kylo Ren, and you know, because of you know, her belief in him for no freaking earned reason. And then she gets to the place and he like meets her at the thing. I want to take you to, like, that to me it just so felt like that exact same scene done all over again in Empire. But they're going to subvert here's the joke setup, but they're going to subvert my expectations, right? So they get to the same throne room with the evil Snoke. I'm Snoke and I'm evil. See the scar, massive head wound, Harry? Look at my head wound, huh? I'm evil, right? You don't get much more evil than a big scar on your forehead, right? Sunday morning cartoon shiznit. That's right, I said shiznit. So, he's like, hi, you have finally proven yourself worthy of my love, Kylo. You know, now here's this moment where Luke, I hate saying his name, because of what they did, but I'm going to say it. So Luke warned her, don't go, this is a losing cause. Same thing like the way Yoda did, you should not leave your training, and blah, 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 blah. Like, whatever, anyway, you get that point. That part didn't, it's the exact same thing. It was just like, and same thing, Luke tells her not to go, but she goes anyway. Now, here's a moment where you could use this as a lesson for her, as like she's impetuous now, she's sort of like not listening to people. Now there's a flaw, there's starting to be a flaw in her character. Wait a minute, listen to Luke, Luke knows better, Luke is wise. Luke is wiser. You have her leave because, you know, reasons. Now this is stupid reasons, and this is a way that you could say, well, okay, here's a character flaw. She's naive, she's silly, she believes people too easily, and she goes to meet Kylo, and because she wants to trust him. This could have been a nice moment for her to learn, and this would have been a nice moment to say, see, she's fallible, see, she's wrong, and there was no, I'm not saying you have to cut off her hand, but it would have been nice. You know? Hello, I'm Rey, where's my hand? You know, I would have, not that that would have been really copycatty if they cut off her leg or something and made her hop around the rest of the time. But they should have done something. They should have made, and it should have been Snoke that hit her with the lightsaber. It should have been it should have been Kylo. Okay? And this is why I'm saying I'm not against the whole Kylo turning on Snoke thing. I'm not against Kylo wanting to join Rey eventually and them having that little moment. I'm not against that. Actually, I liked that. But I want that in the third episode. I want that in the third, when they're like, that's where you build to. That's the crescendo of their relationship that you're trying to build towards. This time, it's way too soon. You can't just suddenly say, "Oh, I've forgiven everything you've done, and I've forgiven," and you like from Kylo's perspective, I forgive you for embarrassing me, in the woods and giving me this scar. It's too soon for that. It's too soon for that forgiveness. It doesn't ring true. It doesn't sound like real people, and that's why this whole moment should have been where she, she's like, strike her down, and then maybe you could have had, this would have been a badass scene. Kylo actually does try to strike her down, and she actually defends herself. That would have been sick. And maybe that. At the end, she does lose that fight to Kylo, because she has to lose to Kylo. If she doesn't lose to Kylo Ren, then no one gives a crap about Kylo Ren. Kylo's not important anymore. He's not powerful enough to defeat an untrained Jedi, so he's no longer relevant as a villain. He's just this, he's just this guy by name who's the villain, but he's not intelligent, he's not a pure strategist, he's overly emotional. The only thing he had going for him was his force power and his pure broad strength. And he's not proven any of that in any of these movies. So he's nothing. You have nothing. And his only motivation is that he feels he was hard done by Luke and by the Jedi and by his parents and by everyone hates him. And that's his only motivation. And he says, "Oh, let's forget about, who cares about the rebellion and the empire, or whatever the hell they're trying to build, the what do you call them, the whatever the hell their new guy. I don't even care. And I had their head and I don't remember. I mean, this whole thing should have been done at the end, in the last movie. This whole story arc of them wanting to come together, but now they should have what should have happened was you struck her down, and there should have been consequences to Rey's decision to leave. Because that's what happens. When you want to learn something, when you have to have a story arc, you have to learn something. And if there's no consequences, then you don't learn. And because there was no consequences, she went there without any. She doesn't have a scar. She doesn't have an emotional scar. She doesn't have anything that she could take away from that, other than a broken lightsaber, which didn't belong to her anyway. There was no consequences to her actions. So she comes back the same uncaring, robotic person that I didn't care about in the first place. There was no the moments they could have made her something, and they didn't. And they just left her, and then she moves on to do more ridiculous stuff that she shouldn't do. Like Rey right now for me is she's done. There's no way of saving her. I don't think you can anymore. Even if I don't know what you could do. I mean, this whole love you ruined her. You actually made her a bad person. You made her a very shallow, hollow, bad person, and you made her to the fact that she's not only robotic, she doesn't seem like she has passion for what she's doing. She doesn't have passion for the Force. She just seems to be going along with things, but she's not controlling her own destiny in the fact that she has a drive for something. She wants to know where her parents are, but she doesn't actively search for them either. Her big drive is, where's my parents? They left me here to die. But she doesn't actively go find them. So then when Kylo Ren says, "Your parents were a bunch of drug dealers, left you on the..." I don't know. "Your parents are drug dealers and they left you on the street to die." Whatever. You know what I mean? They were nobodies, and and your story isn't, you have no place in this story. It's stupid. It's stupid. She has no place in the story? Then why is she in the story? Why do you have a toy if she has no place in the story? Not a great toy, but why? It's so dumb. Now I'm going to get off the Rey thing because they've ruined Rey. She's done. I don't even know what they could do to save her. I mean, and I don't care. Don't give me this crap about, we're going to write more books and we're going to have you read the... I don't... Listen, I'm watching movies. I go to pay to see the movies. You explain it in the movie. Don't tell me you're going to sing this book and just to explain the plot holes and all that nonsense. Because I know for a fact that, hey, I want to make money. That's all I care. Pump some shit out. I don't care. That's all they care about. They're not caring about building an actual, real, well-organized,
structured story and trilogy. No, they just, we need to make more money and sell more toys, because toys outsell the movies. All we need is to get break even on the movies, and we're good to go. That's all they need to do. So they just say, well, but we can't wait 3 years between movies. We won't sell enough toys. Pump this, hey, you write whatever. Who cares if he's finished the other one? Just write the movie. You know, and so he's writing a movie while this person's directing this movie, and they don't connect because there's this. Rian Johnson just says, "You didn't tell me where to go with it. I don't know. I just gonna make my own shit up then, right?" This Force Awakens happened, and nothing from Force Awakens matters in this one. It's almost like it didn't happen. It might as well not have happened. Okay, I know I'm running a little long. I don't care. So I have a lot of shit to say. I'm going to talk about Luke, because I have to get this off my chest, because a lot of this movie and the animosity I have for this movie starts with Luke Skywalker, because I'm a forgiving guy. I'm a nice guy. I don't care about schlock either. I've watched a lot of I didn't mind the Justice League. All right? So there was a lot of stuff that I didn't like in Force Awakens, but at least it was entertaining. It wasn't that horrible, and I could at least appreciate that maybe it was going to go further and explain some stuff, which whatever. The reason why you can't forgive the plot holes in this, the reason why you can't forgive any of these issues, is because that it seemed like Rian Johnson and Disney, or Kathleen Kennedy, they went out of their way, to troll us. I mean, to troll the fans. It was just like, they went and they just said, well, what do they want? Well, I think, and what is this, Hollywood? Why? What does this need to not give the fans what they want? I don't understand this. This is starting to really bug the hell out of me. I'm starting to see this permeating thing in television and movies, is this whole, well, we knew the fans are expecting this, and this would make them happy, and this might be the safe way to go, but, fuck that. Nah, we're gonna go this direction. Now, I don't mind you taking in this direction. Sure, we don't mind a little change. But I've always liked what someone said. You give the audience what they want, just not how they expect. That's how I like it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe other people like it differently. I'm like that. You give me what I want, not how I expect it. That's all. Because that's what will keep... You twist it a little bit. You make us not expect the way it happens. But we still want to see the ending we expect. Because that's why we go. We don't go to the movies for realism. If I want realism, I'll turn on the news. No, if I want to see like this political nonsense and all this shit, I'll turn on the news. And I watch movies so that I don't have to deal with that shit. And now you're putting this shit in the movies, and I can't even hide from there here. I'm all over the place, but I gotta say this. This whole attack on heroes, because it's like this nihilistic view that heroes are that there is no such thing as heroes. We're just, we're imagining heroes, and heroes don't not really exist in the world, and we're just making this all up in our own minds. And it's not, heroes aren't there so that we believe that real heroes exist, and there are real heroes. Okay, heroes aren't necessarily got to be in capes or flying around. Heroes or with lightsabers. Real heroes are your mom. Real heroes are your mother, the one that works 2 jobs, that is single and has to sacrifice her own food so that you can eat. And she doesn't eat as much because she's feeding you. That's what a hero is. That's what my hero was. My mom did that for me. And that's what a hero really is. And there are real heroes. So don't go talking about there is no real heroes. A hero is the father that works, that gets up every freaking morning in a job that he cannot stand to put food on the plate for his family. That is the hero, okay? That is the hero. And there's a lot of heroes in this world. There are a lot of heroes. There are people who have helped, like Nelson Mandela. There are people there's a lot of heroes in this world. They don't wear capes, but they are heroes, and there are good people. So to sit there and just rag on heroes, and the reason why we need guys with capes is because they inspire us to become the people that are like the Mandelas of the world, that are like the Amelia Earharts in the world, the people that we look up to, the people that we want to aspire to become, the people who give us courage to be better people.
because they made the tough decisions to be better, and therefore we make the and even though if it's not fake, it doesn't matter. We want to be like them, and that's why we emulate that shit. That's why we want to do that. So when you're attacking heroes, sorry, I know the tone of this entire thing just changed, but that's why we need heroes. Okay, heroes help us become better people, and heroes like her don't. Because she doesn't risk anything. There's nothing that's at stake for her. So women still are left without a real hero. Okay, there is no stake for her, so she's not a good representation of a female hero. Leia is a fantastic representation of a female hero, one of the best ever. Because why? She sacrificed a whole lot. She was tough. She was intelligent. This was her. Way better than her. This is a joke. This is a real female hero, real strong hero. In my mind, she's always been the real hero. Yes, Luke was a hero, and the guy we wanted to be like. But Princess Leia was neck and neck with, I would say, with Luke, you know, and she did it without the Force, which made her even a better hero. Because to do things with power is one thing, but to do things without power, and she does eventually have. All right. Since I'm there, I know I was going to talk about Luke, but I'm stalling because I don't want to talk about Luke. I want to talk about I am Superman, and I know what's happening. I mean, I don't even know what to say about that. That just, it's so odd. Hey! Quiet, you! No one wants to know your opinion on Star Wars. Do you? No. See? He doesn't even like it. The flying Superman moment in space, it's so dumb that I don't even want to talk about it. It's just so stupid. And some of these decisions that these guys make, these high-priced guys, and you want to know, how does that pass? How does that pass? How does someone look at that and say, oh, I like that idea? Yeah. No, that doesn't disrespect her character at all. No. Mary Poppins? Oh, I love Mary Poppins. It's a great movie. You know, they should have actually had her sing a song, you know. A spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. Oh, the medicine go down. I don't even talk about that. It's just dumb. That's all I'm going to say about it. It was dumb. Stupid. Shouldn't have been in the movie. I don't even want to talk about the plot, the nitpicking of the explosion and how her face didn't burn, and I don't want to talk about how, you know, when she came back, the airlock. I don't even want to talk about the bombs or none of that stuff. Those are things that if you're going to do a fantasy, suspend belief. Yes, you know, there's always been a whole bunch of, if we're going to get technical, there's a lot of things we could talk about, but those little nitpick things that I could accept within reason, but I could accept for the most part. If they make sense, if they further the plot, if there's something about it that I care about. That's all I'm going to say about that. Now I'm going to go back to Luke Skywalker because as a kid, right, everybody's going to have a story about when they were a kid. And I was a kid and I was raised in the 80s. I know, I'm handsome, aren't I? No, I'm just kidding. I was raised in the 80s and I didn't get to see Star Wars, the first one in the theater, because my parents wouldn't let me. It was, you know, just too scary. I was too young. I think I was a baby. So I still couldn't go. But I was old enough to see Empire in the theater, and I didn't because I think it was still too dark, and my mom kind of didn't want me to see that. But I did see Return of the Jedi in the theater, and it gave me nightmares. I remember that night I ran to my mom's bed. Mommy, Vader's going to get me. Oh no! And I don't know why I'm British, but I am for this conversation. Oh no, you know. And I ran to my mom's bed, and she was, you know, she was my hero. And my dad too, because I was there with him. Luke became my hero there, and I did watch the others. It's funny because I watched Jedi first, and then I liked it so much I went the other two afterwards when it came on video. And I think I saw Return of the Jedi in a drive-in. That was pretty cool. I remember that now. It's funny because I didn't remember that till just now, but I did. I remember I saw it in a drive-through when I was a kid, and drive-in, and I also saw the Wrath of Khan in the drive-in as well, and I remember that. You know, the Ewoks were different for me because I liked the Ewoks, and that was I know people are like, "Oh, this is the worst one," but because it was the first one that I ever saw, it was the one that I kind of was attached to, and then I watched the first one after, and then, but I got to see when I first saw. I was a kid. You're just a kid. You don't understand a lot of things. You're not caring about story structure and any of that crap. All you care about is Luke Skywalker's got a cool lightsaber, right? And that's all I was caring about was a lightsaber. And I used to play with. I didn't have a lightsaber when I was a kid, so I used to use the remote control, and I used to I used to walk around with, and I used to have to imagine the green beam out and just that's he was a hero to a lot of us growing up, and and yeah, I've always wanted to see what happened to him and how he progressed into the future. And I know I was never into the books, to be honest. I don't know why. I just didn't get into it. But I watched a lot of the Ewoks cartoons, and I watched a lot of that stuff, and and then you see what they did to him in this movie, and I kind of wish they just didn't have him at all. Just wish they did like TNG, the Next Generation. They didn't piss on Kirk. They didn't piss on Spock. They just didn't include them until like they properly injected them. Well, except for Kirk, but they properly injected a lot of the old casts, in cameos, and that was it. But they didn't like say we have to kill them off. Why do you have to kill them? They could have just had cameo appearances here and there, and just had them there. If you want to start fresh, start fresh. Have them as legends. Have as the people we talk to, people we emulate. But if you're just going to go out there and just take a crap on everything we know and everything we care about, then just don't bother doing it. Don't bother doing it. Just to say, oh, we want to sell toys. Just doesn't even make sense for selling toys. If you're just going to, you could make him a badass and he would probably sell more toys. The fact that they turned Luke Skywalker into Schmeagol. Well,
Jesus, the phases of the Force. Jesus, no likes his Jedi. This tricksy first. Give me titty milk.
That's I couldn't even look at him. Couldn't even look at him the rest of the movie.
Give me the titty milks of the big cows with the weird aardvark faces.
He was disgusting. He was hard to watch for me. I couldn't even watch him. I wish they. I mean, I don't know. I don't even want to get into it. It's so bad. Everyone else has talked about it, so everybody knows what I think. Finn. I'm gonna say Finn. Finn is my favorite character. The reason why Finn was my favorite was my favorite character is because I liked his story arc. His story arc was the best. I always thought it was an awesome thing to make him a stormtrooper. Although I think the motivation for him to escape was kind of weak. I wish they'd given me a little bit more of that. They didn't do that. And I did like the fact that he had to overcome his fears and his demons, and he was emotionally scarred. I like that about him. And this movie, it's like, let me just think about it. He's a stormtrooper. He has training to be stormtrooper. He must know, the ins and outs of the whole operation, but he also has to have some level of training. I mean, he said, he was a janitor, which to me was like, okay, he's a janitor, but then why the hell was he there in the beginning of The Force Awakens? Why wasn't he sweeping the ship? Why the hell was he out there on things? So obviously he was more than just a janitor. He had to have had some training, and yet he acts like he has no training. He acts like he's not a fighter. Give him something more to do. His character. You could use his background and who he is, and have him even have character flaws in the fact that not just being a coward, but maybe he has aggression issues. I mean, a guy who would be a stormtrooper would have to have maybe some aggression issues. Maybe he's got other issues going on. But because he's such a hollow, shallow character, because they didn't really build up his background, we don't know who the hell he comes from. We don't know who his parents are. We don't know where he was taken. We don't know what they did to him on the ship. We don't know why Chrome Dome hates him so much, or why they hate each other so much. They didn't tell us that. I wish they had. Maybe if they had a training sequence, where he beat the shit out of her or something. I don't even know. But at the same time, we don't know anything. We don't know anything about him, but all we know is that he's a stormtrooper, and even that in itself is still interesting, because there must have been some training, there must have been something that he went through to further his character. But he's this clown. He's used as a clown. Stupid as shit. He's Jar Jar of this universe. And you didn't learn your lesson? You talk about trying to be so progressive? This is not progressive at all. There's nothing progressive about this movie. It's all fan service. It's all like kissing ass to the progressives, but it's not really progressive in any way. And I don't even listen. I'm not like an SJW or nothing like that. I'm not either one. I'm like, hey, we both have issues. Point is, if you're gonna do it right. This is a good role model. This is a bad role model. Black people, you watch them and they look at Mace Windu. I'm not going to speak for black people, but I'm just going to go by what I've seen online and what they've said. And Mace Windu, they look at that guy and they look up to him. Because he was all they had. Even though the first movie did nothing, but the second movie and after that, he was pretty badass. And then they did something with him. They're doing nothing with him. Lando Calrissian, they did something with. Yeah, he was a traitor, but he made up for it, and he became one of the coolest things. He even freaking destroyed the final Death Star. What is Finn gonna do? He's a hero. I'm not even gonna talk about I'm not even gonna talk about Rose. I didn't have a big problem with Rose. I didn't have a problem with her specifically. I just didn't like the whole thing they were doing. I didn't like that. That was just boring and lame, and I think I fell asleep. I didn't care about any of that. That was just, well, whatever. Get to the main story, and actually don't, because it was all boring anyway. But this was just asinine, and they just to give him some task to do something, and it was just running around like a bumbling clown 90% of the time. And I have nothing against Rose. I have nothing against purple-haired girls. Yeah, I like purple hair. I'm into anime, so go ahead, purple hair, everybody. I don't give a crap. It's not that they made her purple hair. It's that I'm jumping around. I don't care. Is that they singled it out as if it's supposed to mean something. Like if they should have given 5 people purple hair, then it wouldn't matter so much. Everyone's got purple hair. Who the hell cares? It's the purple hair trend in space. Everyone's got purple hair. It's the new thing. Purple hair. Cool. No one would give it a shit, but they singled her out because I'm purple hair girl. And I'm not going to tell you my plans. Why? Because the script says I shouldn't. So I'm not going to. But why? Because of traitors and such. Tell me that then. No! You don't deserve to know because you're reckless! But I like you. But you're reckless! But I like you. And by the way, I could put this on autopilot or you leave a droid here, but I'm going to sacrifice myself because the script said so. And that's what this movie is. Everything happens because the script said so. Nothing makes any sense. Nothing relates back. Who is Snoke? Why do we have Snoke in this movie? Snoke is cool. He's but I'm evil. Look, I can puppeteer you guys, fly. Ooh, look what I can do with your lightsaber. Ooh, I'm an evil guy. Look at my scar. Oh, you see my scar? I should go to the infirmary and get this stitched up, but I won't because I'm evil. I know what you're doing. I know everything about you, Kylo. I even connected you through the mind meld process via Spock and Harry Potter. And so I made you guys do all this because I'm so damn cool. Oh shit, you killed me, motherfucker. Okay. And it's not that they killed him. I don't give a shit. I didn't really like him anyway. It's just that, not even the fan theories, but the reason why there was fan theories is because it didn't even make sense. Palpatine is dead. The Empire is gone. Where the hell did you get the money for all this crap? How the hell did you just rise such a powerful force against the actual, like, I guess at the time now the rebellion is now the supposed to be the controlling people in the world, and yet somehow you built these massive ships, and you not only did you build massive ships, you built bigger ships than before. You built bigger Death Stars than before. So where did that money come from? So maybe Snoke is some powerful, rich tycoon that just secretly had this underground, Nazi force rising out of the blue in the shadows. But we don't know that because he's dead, and we're never going to know. That's why people are also pissed off by that, because who cares about Snoke? But what we do care about is how the hell did these guys get to become so frickin' powerful? It'd be like Sweden suddenly raising to the power and having more nukes and being stronger than the United States out of nowhere. Suddenly Sweden is like,
our leader is PewDiePie, and he will lead the resistance of Sweden to a new empire.
Like, that didn't make sense. I don't know. I'm watching you, PewDiePie. So that's another reason why that is garbage. And then going forward from here, what's there to look forward to? Kylo Ren is a bumbling fool. He's emotional. He sees Luke Skywalker and the Force Ghost crap thing, and he's all, shoot the guns, shoot him. It's like, fire everything at him. Like he's so freaking scared of him that he just shoot him. And then suddenly, they don't, he comes out, oh, by the way. Oh.
This is not legs, is not shooting.
And he comes out as this bullshit Force Ghost. What do you call it? Hologram. But Kylo Ren doesn't know that. And he's like, oh, I'm going to face him. And he goes down, and he's like, he gets suckered in too easily because he's such a stupid character. He's just driven by nothing but emotion all the time. So he's not a good leader at all. He would be shit. Even if he takes over for Snoke, he'd be so easy to defeat. You just lead him into the sun. Just say, hey everybody, come and get me, and then fuck you, I'm gonna get you, and boom, turn the corner, he's in the sun. I don't know, just something stupid. But what I'm just trying to say is he's easily manipulated because someone that emotional is easily to manipulate. The other guy, the Nazi dude, I forgot his name. I don't even care. The Nazi dude with the blonde hair, that guy. I mean, he's a joke. He was a joke in the beginning. He's a joke at the end. I'm the leader. I'm the leader. Stop! And then Kylo Ren tosses him around. I'm the leader. He's so stupid and useless. So he's gonna be the leader. They may have the lead, but they don't. But they don't have no leadership now. Snoke was the leadership, and they're gonna go down the tube. We cut the head of the snake dies, and that's the thing that happened. They cut the head of the snake already. I have no fear for anything that these guys are gonna do in the future, and I don't care. I don't care about Rey. I mean, Phasma, she's a useless tool. They talk about this feminist message, but really, I mean, they didn't even think about it for a minute. I mean, you're just paying lip service. You're not really actually doing anything that is actually progressive. So it's like there's nothing being done, not for progressive reasons and not even for story reasons. You a big chaotic freaking mess for no reason. The bird shit, I couldn't stand all those. I don't know what they're called. The birds that were annoying me the whole time. I hated them. I wanted them gone. Poe. Talk about Poe quickly. I actually liked Poe. I didn't like this joke. It ran too long. It felt like it was Seth MacFarlane stuff. It felt like Orville. In the beginning, the jokes I didn't have too big a problem with, other than the fact they were ill-timed, ran for too long, and some of it seemed cartoonish. So I guess I didn't have a problem with it. So there you go. But Poe, I mean, just again, things that just happened. He just did things because the script said so, but it doesn't make sense that anyone would actually do these things. Anyone with a common sense brain would do any of the things he does. And just so stupid. Bottom line is this franchise is doomed. I really do think that there's nowhere to go from here. I mean, unless you wake up in a dream sequence, which would be so stupid anyway. But I almost would, I could actually tolerate a dream sequence because it would be like, hey guys, which I mean, look, X-Files just did that. It was stupid as shit, but I'd rather that be stupid than this stupid shit be here. So it's like, weigh it out. Maybe Luke wakes up and he's like, oh my god. Or not even Rey. Rey wakes up and he's like, I had a vision of the future. And he's like, what did you see? I saw the Luke Skywalker as a hermit Schmeagol and a hermit golem on the woods, and oh my god, can you imagine that? And for some reason,
Leia flew out the window and came back in space, flew in space, and for some reason Han Solo got killed by by his own son. I mean, for reasons that are unexplained, because he was a bad daddy. Kylo Ren, who's a Skywalker, turned evil because of reasons, and because Big Bad Daddy didn't like him, and I still don't understand the motivation for why he's bad, other than he is, and that's fine, but he still sucks. Make it a dream sequence, diddly-doo, 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 it's all wiped clean, start again. This is, wipe it clean, this is garbage, start again. Disney, I hope you don't make any toy money. I really don't. I know you will, because I bought some. Fuck. But, going forward, just understand that you'll make a little more money if you make heroes. You'll make a little more money if you do right by the heroes. You'll make a little more money if you make a character development an issue. There's no way to save this. None. I don't care the books that you're going to come out and say, yeah, we can explain here and we can explain. There's no saving Luke Skywalker at all. None. You can't save him. He's done. You turn him into a coward. A coward. Do you understand? Luke is a coward now. It's not even that it's character development issues. It's not, we want to have a story. He goes from a hero to a coward. It doesn't make sense with this character. It doesn't make sense with why he would want to save Darth Vader. But yet he decides to kill someone who he would look at as a son. Because, let's be honest, that's a relationship that's almost like a father and a son. So, it didn't make sense for him to turn into that type of guy. It doesn't make sense. So
they made this Luke Skywalker's a golems.
Fucked. The only thing I could see is if J.J. Abrams pulls a Star Trek. He just has some freaking time loop that just, suddenly they jump through time, they change something, and then bam, come back, and all suddenly the timeline has changed, and Luke Skywalker is now a hero again, and they're gonna do him properly this time. That's the only. JJ, are you listening? You've done it once. It's a stupid plot device. But it's no dumber. It's no dumber than what this stupid movie is all about. Really, let's be honest. That as stupid as that sounds, I think I'd much rather accept that than this going forward with this. And then do whatever you plan on doing this. Do it properly. Do it properly next time, okay? Stop trying to rush these movies. Write down a proper trilogy, right? The fans who made this, okay? Let's put this into perspective. The 3 movies that came out first in 1977, after 3 years, last one was in 1983. From 1983 to when The Phantom Menace came out, who kept this series alive? They were still selling toys, maybe not as much, but they were still, who kept this alive? It was nothing Lucas did. No. Who kept this alive? The fans kept it alive. The people who were writing the fiction. The people who fell in love with these characters. They kept this series. They made this into the iconic thing it is. So the fans made this. Okay? The fans and George Lucas made this. Then George Lucas made the prequels. The prequels were, some like, some don't, but they at least with the prequels, they gave you more. They made the universe richer. Anyway, the light's flashing. I really don't have much time. I'm just trying to say that pay back the fans. Erase these 3 movies. Do it frickin' properly. Do it properly. And if those people who say they like this movie, fine. You might like this movie to some level because it's a little bit funny, it's entertaining, it's got like nice lights and flashy lights and all this great pixels and all that shit. Fine. Maybe you can convince yourself that it's okay. But is this really good? Is this really good? Think about it. Is this what you want? Is this what we deserve? No. Do it again. Mulligan. I call for a reboot. They reboot everything else. Reboot this. You want to keep Rey? Keep Rey. Do it properly. Do a single. I'm going to do another movie about this after, where we talk about if you're gonna they could reboot this and do this better, and do it follow the Marvel image, which is each one should get a movie. Rey should get a movie. Finn should get his movie. Poe should get his movie. Then, once you establish these characters, then you bring them into the Star Wars, the actual Star Wars movie, and continue the story. Now that we know, might as well do it like that. You want to make your money, but do it right.
Do these characters right. Don't rush. And put some thought into this. Put some thought. Hey, all of Hollywood, put some freaking thought into it. And please, go get a book. And please, go learn what love is. Because you have no concept of love. You have no concept of what a relationship is. You have no concept of what real love is. You get too many Harvey Weinsteins out there. Too many crazy people that have no clue what real love is supposed to be. And so you create this nonsense, this contrived nonsense. Even when Anakin, it's like you don't understand what a real relationship is supposed to look like. Is Hollywood that far out there that they can't really freaking understand what human feelings and emotions really are about? I don't believe that, and I think you could do it right. Anyway, guys, I know this ran for too long. I'm sorry, but I had to share my piece. Everyone else got to, and I'm going to continue. I'm going to talk about Rey and how to fix Finn and all that stuff going forward. Please tell me what you think in the comments. Do you agree with me? I also have another video where I like to talk about Star Wars and the Force Awakens and the missing moments. Please check that out. Alright, thanks. So subscribe in the bottom, leave a comment, and blow me some kisses. Woohoo! I don't even know what this is. It's supposed to be cool, but really I don't think it is. Alright guys, thanks. Bye.